Every human carries within himself a battlefield, a place where thoughts clash, emotions collide, and desires fight against reason. This invisible war is the most important one you will ever face because victory or defeat here decides the course of your entire life. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. They didn't fight to conquer kingdoms, they fought to conquer themselves. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." These words are simple, yet behind them lies an entire philosophy, the art of mastering your own inner world. But ask yourself honestly, how many times have you allowed your emotions to take control? How many nights have you stayed awake replaying something that already happened? How often do you react before thinking, only to regret it later? This is the chaos that the Stoics called the war within. You can't fight this war by running away from it. You win it by understanding the nature of your mind. Your mind is both your greatest friend and your most dangerous enemy. It can build empires or destroy peace. The same thoughts that can inspire you can also enslave you. The Stoics' mission was not to silence the mind, but to train it, to make it obedient to reason, not emotion. Epictetus, who was born a slave but became one of the greatest Stoic teachers, said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." This is the first weapon of mental mastery, response. Life will throw pain, loss, insult, failure, and betrayal your way. You can't control that, but you can control your response. You can choose calm over chaos, discipline over impulse, strength over weakness. The moment you start choosing your response instead of reacting blindly, you begin to control your mind. You step out of the emotional storm and into the calm center of reason. That is where your power lives. But control doesn't come overnight. It requires practice, patience, and awareness. You have to watch your thoughts like a guard watching the gates of a fortress. Every time anger tries to enter, every time fear knocks, you must question it. Ask yourself, is this useful? Is this true? Is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Because not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your reaction. The Stoics divided life into two categories, things within our control and things beyond it. Within your control are your opinions, your choices, your actions, and your mindset. Outside your control are everything else, the behavior of others, the weather, the past, the future, luck, and outcomes. The wise man invests his energy only in what he can control. The foolish man wastes it on what he can't. Most people live as victims of their emotions. When something doesn't go their way, they complain, blame, and crumble. But the Stoic sees things differently. He sees every obstacle as training. Every insult is an opportunity to practice patience. Every failure is a chance to strengthen his character. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In those few words lies the secret to turning pain into power. Whatever challenges your mind, whatever tests your calm, is exactly what will make you stronger. The Stoic mind is like a disciplined soldier. It doesn't panic in battle. It doesn't waste time shouting at the storm. It simply adapts, responds, and marches forward. You must become that soldier, unshaken by chaos, unmoved by distraction, and unbroken by circumstance. To control your mind, you must build three things: awareness, reason, and detachment. Awareness allows you to see what's happening inside you, to recognize when anger rises, when fear whispers, when ego speaks. Reason helps you decide how to respond, calmly, wisely, and with purpose. Detachment frees you from being consumed by what you can't control, the opinions of others, external events, and outcomes. This is the triangle of Stoic mastery. When all three align, you become unshakable. But make no mistake, mastering your mind isn't about becoming emotionless. Stoicism is not coldness, it's control. It doesn't tell you to suppress emotions, it teaches you to guide them. Think of your emotions as wild horses. Left alone, they'll run in every direction, dragging you into chaos. But with discipline, you can harness their power, direct their energy, and let them serve your higher purpose. When anger comes, use it to remind yourself of what truly matters. When sadness appears, let it deepen your gratitude for what remains. When fear arises, let it sharpen your awareness and preparation. This is how you turn emotion into fuel. The Stoics believe the mind is like water. When it's turbulent, you can't see your reflection. But when it's calm, you can see everything clearly. The modern world keeps your water shaking. Noise, comparison, stress, distraction. That's why your first task is to find stillness inside. Take moments daily to sit with your thoughts. Breathe. Observe. No phone, no noise, just you and your mind. That's where you'll start seeing how much control you truly have. Remember, No one can disturb your peace without your permission. People will insult, events will shock, and life will test you. But you decide what meaning to give them. You decide whether to react or remain composed. Control is not taken, it's chosen. In time, this awareness becomes instinct. You'll find yourself calm in moments where you once panicked. You'll walk through chaos like a rock in the river, unshaken by the current. That's when you'll realize, control isn't about dominating life, it's about mastering yourself. The war within will never end completely. But every day you fight with awareness, you win a little more ground. And one day you'll look back and see that the noise has faded, the storm has settled, and what remains is a mind at peace, a mind you finally command. That's the Stoic way, not to escape life but to rise above it. To control the only thing that ever truly belonged to you, your mind. The power of perception, seeing the world as it is. The Stoics believed that most of human suffering doesn't come from the world itself. It comes from how we see the world. The problem is not reality, it's perception. Between every event and your reaction, there lies a space where your judgment is born. Control that judgment and you control your peace. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How many nights have you lost sleep over scenarios that never happened? How many times have you felt pain because of a story your mind created? That's the power and the danger of perception. You and another person can experience the exact same event, yet your worlds will look completely different. One sees defeat, the other sees a lesson. One feels cursed, the other feels challenged. What changed? Not the event, but the mind interpreting it. To control your mind, you must learn to control this lens, the filter through which you view reality. Because the way you see determines the way you feel, and the way you feel determines how you act. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." That's one of the most liberating truths ever written. The world cannot disturb you, only your interpretation of it can. Imagine rain falling. To one man it ruins his plants. To another, it nourishes his crops. The event is the same, but perception changes everything. When you start seeing life without distortion, you remove unnecessary suffering. You begin to live from clarity, not from emotion. So, how do you train your perception the Stoic way? The first step is awareness. Catch your judgments in real time. When something happens, a delay, a loss, a rejection, stop and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this? Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted, and your mind immediately says, "I'm not good enough." That's not truth, that's perception. A Stoic would look at the same event and say, "This is an opportunity to improve, to prepare better, to redirect my path." The event is the same, but the inner dialogue transforms pain into power. The second step is objectivity. The Stoics practiced what they called the view from above. They imagined looking down on their life from high above, like seeing a map of the world. From that distance, the emotions lose intensity, and everything looks smaller, simpler, and more connected. The argument that feels huge today becomes a tiny point in the timeline of your entire existence. The failure that breaks your heart now becomes a lesson that shapes your strength later. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about this in his meditations. When he faced anger or frustration, he reminded himself to zoom out, to see the world as a whole, not just his tiny part of it. That's how you shift perception, by remembering how small each moment truly is in the vastness of life. The third step is acceptance. Once you see clearly, you stop fighting reality. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate. It means not just accepting what happens, but embracing it. To see everything as necessary for your growth. When life gives you pain, the untrained mind says, "Why me?" The Stoic mind says, "This is my training. This is my test." You stop labeling things as good or bad. They just are. What you call bad today might be the very thing that saves you tomorrow. The Stoic trains himself to see that truth in every moment. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." If you can change the view, you change the experience. Let's make it practical. Suppose someone insults you. Your first instinct is to get angry, to defend, to retaliate. But step back. What really happened? Words were spoken. That's it. It's your perception, your belief that those words define you, that causes pain. But if you choose to see those words as noise, or even as a test of your composure, the same event loses its power. This is perception training in action. It's how Stoics built mental armor. Not by escaping the world, but by changing how they saw it. Now, understand this, perception doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It's not about blind optimism. It's about seeing reality without exaggeration. When something is hard, call it hard, but don't call it impossible. When someone wrongs you, acknowledge it, but don't let it poison your peace. The Stoic mind sees clearly, feels deeply, and acts wisely. It doesn't distort, dramatize, or deny. It accepts life as it is, raw, unpredictable, uncontrollable, and still chooses calm. You can apply this every day. When plans fail, see it as redirection. When people disappoint you, see it as a reminder to rely on yourself. When life slows down, see it as time to strengthen patience. Your perception becomes your greatest tool of control. The stronger it gets, the less power the world has over you. Because every emotion begins with a thought, and every thought begins with perception. Here's the truth: you can't control the weather, the economy, or what others say about you. But you can control how you interpret those things. And that's the difference between peace and chaos. Seneca taught that if you want to be happy, you must learn to separate facts from fiction. Facts are simple: this happened. Fiction is what your mind adds: this shouldn't have happened. The moment you drop the fiction, you drop the suffering. When something painful happens, ask, what's the fact? And then stop there. Don't add always, never, or why me. Those are illusions created by emotion. Over time, this practice rewires your mind. You stop reacting automatically. You stop assuming the worst. You begin to respond from strength, not fear. That's how perception becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. When someone angered him, he didn't blame them. He reminded himself, it is natural for them to act this way, and I can choose not to be disturbed. He saw things for what they were: human nature, not personal attack. That single shift in perception protected his peace. You too can live like that. When traffic slows you down, see patience training. When failure visits, see wisdom in disguise. When life tests you, see strength being forged. Every moment is neutral. You are the one giving it meaning. So choose your meanings wisely. Because perception isn't just how you see the world, it's how you build it. A mind trained in Stoic perception becomes untouchable. Nothing outside can disturb it for long. Every storm becomes a mirror that reflects your inner control. Remember this: the world is not against you. It's revealing you. Your perception decides whether you see that as punishment or preparation. Train your mind to see clearly. Respond wisely. And you'll realize the truth the Stoics lived by, that the world itself is neither good nor bad. It's your judgment that makes it so. When you master that, you master peace. And that, my friend, is the real power of perception. Master the inner dialogue. Inside every human being, there is a constant conversation, a voice that never stops talking. Sometimes it whispers doubts, sometimes it fuels anger, and sometimes it fills us with courage. The Stoics understood that this inner dialogue determines the quality of our lives. You cannot always control what happens outside, but you can always control the story you tell yourself about it. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This single line holds the secret to mental control. Because your mind reacts based on the narrative you feed it. If you tell yourself that you're a victim, you'll suffer. If you tell yourself that you're a learner, you'll grow. The same situation, two different stories, two completely different lives. The Stoic way to control your mind starts with awareness. You must catch your thoughts in the act. Most people never do. They walk through life believing every thought that appears in their head. A random worry becomes truth. A temporary emotion becomes identity. They never stop to ask, is this thought serving me or enslaving me? Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, trained himself to question his thoughts constantly. He would write to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." He didn't just write it, he lived it. Whenever fear, frustration, or disappointment arose, he would step back and observe it as if it were happening to someone else. This distance, this pause, gave him power. That's the first step toward mastering your inner dialogue: separation. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. When you start separating from your thoughts, you break their control over you. Suddenly, the anger that used to dominate you becomes just another emotion passing through. The anxiety that used to consume you becomes a signal, not a sentence. You learn to say, "I see you thought, I see you emotion, but I decide how to respond." This is what Stoics practiced daily, the art of mental detachment. They would visualize potential problems in advance, what Seneca called premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. They would imagine loss, pain, or rejection before it happened. What? Not to invite suffering, but to train the mind. When the event eventually came, they were calm, because they had already spoken to their mind about it. They had rehearsed control. You can apply the same today. When you wake up, your mind begins to flood you with thoughts, some positive, many negative. You have two choices: believe everything it says or become its teacher. The Stoic chooses to lead his thoughts, not follow them. He reminds himself, this day will bring challenges. Some people will be rude. Plans may fail. But my reaction is my domain. I will choose peace. I will choose strength. Every morning is a mental negotiation. Either your thoughts command you or you command them. Now, how do you build this command? Through repetition and reason. The Stoics didn't rely on emotion to control emotion. They used logic. When a thought arises, they would challenge it. Is this true? Is this useful? Does this help me live with virtue? These questions burn away false beliefs. Because most mental suffering is born from false perception, exaggerating problems, imagining outcomes that never happen, comparing yourself to others. Marcus wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." That's not poetry, that's training advice. Every negative thought that you let live unchallenged becomes a weight you carry. Every disciplined thought becomes armor. So next time your mind says, "I can't handle this," answer back like a Stoic, "You've handled everything so far. You're stronger than this thought." When your mind whispers, "What if it all goes wrong?" reply, "Then I will adapt, endure, and learn." This dialogue, repeated daily, reshapes your mind into an ally instead of an enemy. Seneca wrote that no man is more unhappy than he who is never in command of himself. Think about that. The richest man, the most famous person, the most admired one, if he cannot command his thoughts, he is a slave. But a poor man who controls his inner dialogue is free. The Stoics measured freedom not by wealth or comfort, but by mental mastery. This is why Stoicism is not cold or emotionless. It's powerful. It doesn't tell you to suppress emotion, it tells you to train it. Anger becomes energy for justice. Fear becomes alertness. Sadness becomes compassion. Every emotion has a use when the mind is captain of the ship. Without control, the same emotions destroy you. With control, they serve you. You see, controlling your mind is not about silencing it. It's about teaching it how to speak. Most people have let the worst part of their mind run the conversation for years. It tells them they're not enough, that they're behind, that they're broken. But the Stoic reclaims that voice. He becomes his own philosopher, his own therapist, his own coach. The Stoic doesn't fight reality, he reframes it. He says, this obstacle? It's an opportunity to grow. This pain? It's a lesson in strength. This delay? It's a test of patience. By shifting his interpretation, he changes his entire experience. The external world stays the same, but his internal world becomes unshakable. And that's the final secret of mastering the inner dialogue, turning pain into power through perception. When something painful happens, don't ask, why me? Instead ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every difficulty, when met with wisdom, polishes your mind like fire-hardened steel. So the next time your thoughts run wild, remember the Stoic practice. Pause, observe, challenge, reframe. Do this every day and you will notice a transformation. The voice in your head will change from chaos to calm. You'll start to hear clarity where there was confusion, strength where there was doubt. Your mind will become your ally, steady, disciplined, and wise. That's the Stoic way, not to silence the noise but to direct it. Not to escape the mind but to master it. Because the one who commands his thoughts commands his world. Turning chaos into calm. Life will never move in a straight line. No matter how much you plan, things will go wrong. People will disappoint you. Situations will collapse. Emotions will rise. And if you are not trained, your mind will follow that chaos like a leaf in the wind. But the Stoic stands still in the storm. The Stoic understands, chaos outside means nothing if there is order within. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, plagues, betrayal, and exhaustion, yet his writings breathe peace. Why? Because he mastered the art of turning chaos into calm. He didn't fight what he couldn't control. He accepted it, analyzed it, and responded with reason. He reminded himself, the universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. This is the Stoic secret. The calm mind is not a gift, it is a discipline. You don't find calm by waiting for life to slow down. You create calm by slowing your thoughts down. When something chaotic happens, the untrained mind reacts instantly. It explodes, panics, or complains. But the trained mind pauses. It creates space between stimulus and response. That small space, that single pause, is where your power lives. The Stoic mind lives inside that pause. Epictetus taught his students that external events are neutral. It's your interpretation that gives them power. If your car breaks down, that's a fact. But calling it terrible or unfair is your opinion. And your opinion, not the event, creates suffering. So when life hits you hard, practice separating facts from interpretations. The Stoic says, "This happened." The ordinary mind says, "This ruined everything." Which one do you think suffers more? Every moment of chaos is a test. It asks, will you be a master of your mind or a slave to it? The Stoic chooses mastery. He reminds himself, if I can stay calm when everything shakes, I am unshakable. That is the mindset you must build, not expecting peace from the world, but creating peace inside yourself. Now, how do you create that calm in the middle of storms? The Stoics use 3 techniques that you can apply today. View from above. Focus on the present moment. Accept and act. Let's break these down. 1. View from above. This was one of Marcus Aurelius's favorite exercises. He imagined rising above the earth, higher and higher, until he could see the cities, the people, and his own problems from a bird's eye view. From that distance, what once felt overwhelming suddenly became small. He realized how short life is, how temporary our worries are. This mental distance dissolves chaos. Next time you feel consumed by stress, visualize yourself floating above your situation. See your life as one small part of a vast world, billions of people, millions of stories, all living, struggling, and growing. Suddenly, the argument, the delay, or the loss doesn't feel like the end of the world anymore. It becomes part of a larger picture, and that picture gives you calm. Perspective is medicine for the mind. The Stoics understood, when you zoom out, you regain control. 2. Focus on the present moment. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most chaos exists not in the world but in our minds, created by overthinking the past and fearing the future. The Stoic refuses to live anywhere except the present. The present is the only time you have control. You can't fix yesterday. You can't live tomorrow. You can only act now. When your mind starts spinning in worry, bring yourself back to this question: what can I do right now? That single question cuts through mental noise, because action kills anxiety. The moment you do something constructive, breathe, walk, write, plan, fix, you regain power. Stoics weren't dreamers sitting quietly with blind faith. They were doers. Calm wasn't their escape, it was their weapon. They moved through chaos calmly because they focused on what was within their control, their actions, their judgments, their effort. And that's where modern people lose peace, by trying to control what was never theirs. The traffic, the weather, someone else's opinion, the timing of events. All of these lie outside your domain. And yet, that's where most people invest their emotions. The Stoic refuses. He draws a line and says, "What is not mine to control will not control me." 3. Accept and act. Acceptance doesn't mean surrender. It means clarity. You acknowledge reality for what it is, not for what you wish it were. Once you accept, you can act wisely. If you deny reality, you act foolishly. Epictetus taught, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it, but wish for everything to happen as it does, then your life will flow well." That is the mindset that turns chaos into calm. When a Stoic loses something, he doesn't scream at the universe. He accepts impermanence. When someone insults him, he doesn't react with ego. He sees ignorance. When plans fail, he doesn't despair. He adapts. His mind moves like water, flexible, flowing, finding new paths. Modern life is fast, loud, and unpredictable. People are drowning in mental noise. But the Stoic mind cuts through that noise like a blade. It doesn't need silence to be calm. It carries silence within. Calmness for the Stoic is not a mood, it's a skill. It's the result of mental discipline practiced every day. Start small. Next time something goes wrong, the delay, the traffic, the mistake, instead of reacting, breathe and whisper to yourself, "This is outside my control, but how I respond is mine." That single sentence will separate you from 99% of people. That is the moment you start living like a philosopher, not a victim. The Stoics also taught the power of journaling, writing your thoughts to bring order to chaos. Marcus Aurelius didn't write meditations for the world. He wrote it for himself. Each page was a conversation between him and his mind. He was training his thoughts to serve him, not sabotage him. You can do the same. When your mind feels noisy, don't escape into distraction, right? Empty the chaos on paper. Reflection brings clarity. Clarity brings calm. Remember this truth: the world is chaotic, but your reaction doesn't have to be. You can live in storms and still have peace inside you. You can face pressure and still act with grace. You can lose control of everything, except your mind, and still win. The Stoic calm is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about saying, even if it's not fine, I am fine. Because the fire inside is stronger than the storm outside. The ultimate goal is not a peaceful life. The goal is a peaceful mind that stays steady in every kind of life. That's what Marcus, Seneca, and Epictetus mastered. And you can too. Because peace is not found, it's built. You build it by training your thoughts, by controlling your reactions, and by remembering every day. The obstacle is the way. The storm is the teacher. And calmness is my power. Emotional discipline, the warrior within. The strongest man is not the one who lifts the heaviest weight. It's the one who lifts his own emotions and doesn't let them crush him. The Stoics knew that the real battlefield is not outside, it's inside. You can conquer kingdoms, but if anger, fear, and doubt still rule your heart, you remain a prisoner. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That's where emotional discipline begins, not by eliminating emotion, but by learning to command it. 1. Understanding the nature of emotion. Every emotion starts as an impulse, a flash of energy that moves through you. Anger, fear, jealousy, sadness. None of these are evil by nature. The Stoics never taught to destroy emotion. They taught to control its direction. Like fire, it can cook your food or burn your house. The power is the same, the use is different. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." What he meant was, before you let emotion control you, step back. Observe it, understand it. Ask, why am I reacting this way? What belief inside me is being challenged? You'll realize that emotions are just messengers. Anger tells you something feels unfair. Fear tells you something feels uncertain. Sadness tells you something valuable has been lost. But your job is not to drown in them, it's to interpret them. To use them as signals, not as sentences. The Stoic never says, "I shouldn't feel this." He says, "I feel this. Now, how do I respond with reason?" That is emotional intelligence in its purest form. 2. Detachment, creating distance from emotion. When emotion hits, the untrained mind reacts instantly. It throws words, actions, and regrets into the world. But the Stoic pauses. He practices detachment, the ability to step back from his feelings before acting on them. Marcus practiced this daily. When rage tried to rise, he would remind himself, "You will meet ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful people. They are like this because they cannot distinguish good from evil. But I, who understand nature, will not be harmed by them." He prepared his mind before the battle even began. That's the essence of Stoic control, preparation over reaction. When you feel an emotional wave rising, pause and label it. This is anger. This is fear. This is envy. By naming it, you separate yourself from it. You remind your mind, I am the observer, not the emotion. That small distance gives you space to think, to breathe, to choose your next move consciously. This is where power lives, not in suppressing emotion but in pausing before you let it rule you. 3. Transforming emotion into strength. The Stoics believed that every emotion could be transmuted into a virtue. Anger can fuel justice. Fear can fuel caution. Sadness can fuel compassion. The energy is neutral, your interpretation defines its purpose. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is safe from any emotion, but not because he feels none, rather because he has learned to control them." Imagine you face betrayal. Most people would collapse in bitterness. But the Stoic says, "I have learned the truth about loyalty. I have gained strength through pain." He channels the sting of emotion into personal evolution. He refuses to waste energy in resentment when that same energy can build resilience. That's emotional alchemy, turning pain into power. And once you master that, you become unstoppable. Think of your emotions as wild horses. If you let them run without reins, they destroy everything. But if you learn to guide them, they carry you through storms. The Stoic trains his emotions the way a warrior trains his sword, not to remove its edge, but to sharpen it for purpose. 4. Emotional control through reason. Epictetus taught a simple principle. What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about things. This is the root of Stoic control. It's not the event that shakes you, it's the story you tell yourself about it. Change the story and you change the emotion. Let's say someone insults you. Event, words were spoken. Judgment, they disrespected me. Emotion, anger. Now apply reason. Why do I need their approval? Are their words truth or noise? Instantly, the emotional charge drops. The insult loses power because you've removed its meaning. This is why the Stoics trained their minds in logic and perspective. They believed emotion should follow truth, not fantasy. If your judgment is wise, your emotions will naturally align. If your judgment is foolish, your emotions will rebel. So next time you feel consumed, don't fight the emotion. Question the thought behind it. Is it real? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? When your reasoning becomes sharp, emotions obey like loyal soldiers following a commander. 5. Training through adversity. The Stoics didn't avoid difficulty, they sought it as training. Every discomfort was a gym for the mind. Seneca said, "Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor does the body." When you face pain or emotional turmoil, don't run. Observe. Ask yourself, what part of me is being tested? Maybe patience, maybe courage, maybe faith. Every trial is a lesson in emotional discipline. Each one shapes your inner strength. For example, someone betrays you, practice forgiveness. Something fails, practice patience. Someone criticizes you, practice humility. Every time you choose discipline over reaction, your emotional muscles grow stronger. The Stoic uses life's hardships like weights in a mental gym. And with every repetition, he becomes less reactive and more resilient. 6. Returning to stillness. After the storm, return to stillness. That's the Stoic rhythm. Act, endure, release, reflect. They meditated, journaled, walked in nature, not for escape but for grounding. A calm mind is not emotionless, it's centered. Marcus would end his day writing what he did right, what he did wrong, and what he could do better. He treated reflection like sharpening a blade. You can do the same. When the day ends, ask, when did I lose control today? What triggered me? How can I respond better tomorrow? This self-awareness builds mastery. Because emotional discipline is not achieved in one moment, it's built through a lifetime of reflection and refinement. 7. The reward of emotional discipline. When you master your emotions, the world no longer controls you. You walk through chaos with steady steps. People's opinions become background noise. Circumstances lose their power to shake you. You stop reacting and start responding. And that's when you become truly dangerous, not in aggression but in peace. Because a man who cannot be provoked is untouchable. The Stoic stands calm not because life is easy, but because he has trained harder than the storm. He carries stillness like armor, wisdom like a weapon, and self-control like a crown. That's emotional discipline, the warrior within. It's not about becoming emotionless, it's about becoming unbreakable. It's about feeling deeply yet choosing calmly. It's about mastering the storm, not avoiding it. So when life throws its next wave at you, remember, you are the ocean, not the ripple. You are the master, not the emotion. You are the Stoic, calm, focused, and free. The power of focus and discipline. A distracted mind is a weak mind. It jumps from one thought to another, one worry to the next, one desire after another, never at peace, never in control. The Stoics knew that focus is the root of strength. Without focus, your mind becomes a battlefield of scattered thoughts. But when you train focus, you take command of your life. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." The power to revoke, to redirect your mind, that is focus. That is discipline. 1. The distracted age. We live in a time when distraction is the new disease. Every second, something demands our attention. Messages, notifications, news, noise. The average person doesn't even own his own thoughts anymore. He is pulled in every direction by what others think, do, and post. The Stoics would call this slavery. Because when your attention is controlled, your mind is no longer yours. You've given away your most sacred power, the power of focus. Seneca warned against this long before smartphones existed. He wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." If your mind is always scattered, you live nowhere fully. You touch everything but master nothing. Focus to the Stoic is freedom. It's the ability to hold your attention where you choose, not where the world drags it. 2. The discipline of attention. The Stoics practice something we can call mental stillness training. When distractions tried to pull them, they would pause and remind themselves of purpose. Marcus would say, "You have work to do as a human being. Don't let yourself be pulled away by trifles." He saw life as a duty, not a chase for pleasure or comfort, but a mission to live with excellence. And excellence requires attention. You can't control your mind if you can't control your focus. Every time you let your attention wander aimlessly, you weaken the muscle of control. But every time you bring your attention back, to your breath, your goal, your present action, you train strength. The Stoic doesn't ask, What do I feel like doing? He asks, what is the right thing to do now? That's discipline. Acting by principle, not by impulse. 3. The three enemies of focus. To master the mind, you must understand what steals your focus. The Stoics identified three main enemies: desire, wanting what you don't have; fear, avoiding what you might face; distraction, chasing what doesn't matter. Desire pulls your mind toward illusions of happiness, money, approval, fame. Fear drags your mind into imaginary futures that rarely come true. Distraction scatters your mind so thin that it forgets what truly matters. When all three take over, your mind becomes noisy, restless, and fragile. The Stoic counters them with clarity, courage, and concentration. Clarity cuts through desire. You remind yourself what truly matters. Courage dissolves fear. You face reality without exaggeration. Concentration silences distraction. You give your full presence to this moment. That is the Stoic triangle of mental control. 4. The practice of single tasking. Seneca once wrote, "Nothing is so ruinous to the well-being of a man as to dissipate his energy over too many things." Focus is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters deeply. When you eat, just eat. When you train, just train. When you speak, just speak. When you reflect, just reflect. Modern life teaches multitasking as a skill. Stoicism teaches presence as power. Because when you give your full attention to one thing, you enter a state of stillness, that sacred space where the mind stops chasing and starts creating. You'll notice that in moments of deep focus, anxiety disappears. Why? Because anxiety lives in distraction. It feeds on the future, not the present. When your mind is anchored in one action, one purpose, it cannot drift into worry. The Stoic calls this living deliberately. Every action becomes meaningful. Every step becomes conscious. And consciousness is control. 5. Routine, the structure of mastery. Marcus Aurelius lived by structure. His mornings were for meditation and clarity. His days were for duty and service. His nights were for reflection and correction. Why such structure? Because without routine, the mind becomes prey to impulse. Epictetus taught that freedom requires discipline. He said, "No great thing is created suddenly. Discipline builds greatness piece by piece, moment by moment." Your routine is not your prison, it's your armor. It protects your mind from chaos. Start simple. Wake up at a set time. Begin with silence. No phone, no noise. Journal what matters today. Set your priorities and stick to them. When distractions whisper, return to your list. When impulses rise, remember your goal. You cannot control the world, but you can control your daily rhythm. That rhythm becomes your fortress, strong, unshakable, stoic. 6. The power of saying no. Focus also requires subtraction. To control your mind, you must learn to say no to people, habits, and thoughts that drain your energy. Seneca said, "If you wish to be loved, love yourself rightly." And loving yourself rightly means protecting your focus like treasure. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you say no to your purpose. Every time you chase instant gratification, you delay lasting fulfillment. The Stoic doesn't chase every opportunity, he chooses wisely. He knows that clarity comes not from addition, but from elimination. He prunes his thoughts like a gardener pruning a tree, removing what's unnecessary so what's essential can grow. So ask yourself daily, what deserves my attention today? What strengthens my mind and what weakens it? And then have the courage to cut away the noise. 7. Mental endurance, staying the course. Focus is not built in a moment, it's built over time through repetition and struggle. The Stoics compared the mind to an athlete. You can't expect strength without training. You build it by showing up every day even when motivation fades. Marcus wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work,' as a human being." He didn't wait for comfort or inspiration. He acted from duty. And that's the mindset that keeps focus alive when everything else falls apart. Modern people quit when it's hard. The Stoic thrives when it's hard. Because difficulty is proof of progress. Every time you endure, you harden your mental armor. Every time you stay disciplined, you silence the chaos inside. Focus is forged in discomfort. Discipline is born in repetition. And mastery is earned by those who do what others avoid. The unshakable mind. When your focus is strong, no external chaos can disturb you. When your discipline is consistent, no emotional storm can break you. You move through life with clarity, knowing what matters, knowing what to ignore. This is the Stoic way to control your mind. Focus on what's in your power. Ignore what isn't. Do what's necessary, not what's easy. And remain calm through it all. Because control isn't built in silence, it's built in storms. And the more you practice discipline, the quieter your mind becomes. The Stoic doesn't need perfect circumstances to find peace. He creates peace through focus. He builds power through routine. And he carries stillness through chaos. That's how you rise, calm, clear, and unshakable. The calm within the storm. There comes a moment in every person's life when the world around him feels uncontrollable. When noise fills every corner, when chaos shakes every foundation, when even your own thoughts feel like enemies. That is the storm of life, of uncertainty, of emotion. And this is where the Stoic mind shows its true strength. Because controlling your mind isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about finding calm within it. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayal, sickness, and loss. Yet his journal reveals a man who remained calm, thoughtful, and composed. He never said, "I wish life were easier." He said, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." That is the Stoic ideal, to stand firm when everything else collapses. 1. Understanding the inner fortress. The Stoics believed that inside each person lives a fortress, a place untouched by the outside world. Marcus called it the citadel within. Epictetus called it the ruling faculty. It's the part of your mind that chooses your response no matter what happens to you. When someone insults you, you can react with anger or you can remain still. When life tests you, you can break or you can adapt. When plans fail, you can drown in emotion or you can learn and rebuild. That choice, that moment between event and reaction, that's your freedom. That's where control lives. Epictetus said it clearly, it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. The Stoic controls his reaction, and through that, he controls his entire world. 2. Emotional mastery, not emotional suppression. Many people misunderstand Stoicism. They think it means becoming emotionless, a stone, a robot. But the Stoics never said don't feel. They said don't be ruled by what you feel. Marcus felt sorrow, fear, anger. He was human. But he trained his mind not to act out of those emotions. He observed them, understood them, and then guided them through reason. That is emotional mastery. It's the art of acknowledging emotions without letting them command your actions. When anger rises, the Stoic asks, will this help me or harm me? When fear whispers, he asks, is this within my control or not? And when sadness lingers, he reminds himself, this too is part of the human experience. To control your mind doesn't mean to silence your heart. It means to lead it wisely. 3. The role of reflection. One of the Stoics' greatest tools for control was daily reflection. Marcus wrote in his journal every night, not for the world to see but for his own correction. He analyzed his actions, his reactions, and his thoughts. He asked himself, where did I lose control today? What made me angry that didn't deserve anger? Where did I let emotions lead instead of reason? Through reflection, he strengthened his awareness. And awareness is the beginning of mastery. If you never look within, you'll never truly control what's within. That's why Stoics lived with constant self-examination. They didn't seek perfection, they sought progress. You can do the same. At the end of your day, sit in silence. Write or think about your choices. Forgive yourself for mistakes, but learn from them. And tomorrow, do better. The mind grows stronger when it's observed with honesty. For turning pain into power. The Stoics saw pain differently than most. To them, pain was not an enemy, it was a teacher. It was the gym of the mind, the forge of character. Seneca wrote, fire tests gold, adversity tests brave men. Pain exposes what's weak, and through that exposure, it gives you the chance to rebuild stronger. When life hurts you, you have two options. You can let it harden your heart, or you can let it sharpen your spirit. The Stoic chooses the second. He uses every hardship to train his mind. When he loses something, he practices detachment. When he's insulted, he practices patience. When he fails, he practices humility. When he succeeds, he practices gratitude. Every experience becomes part of his discipline. And through that, his mind becomes unshakable. So next time life tests you, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this moment trying to teach me? Because that question turns pain into power. 5. The art of letting go. Control is not about holding tightly, it's about letting go wisely. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves that most things are not in our control. We cannot control time, other people, or fate. We cannot control what the world gives or takes. But we can control how we see it, and that's where real peace begins. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The Stoic lets go of the illusion of total control. He doesn't cling to what changes, he accepts it. He doesn't fight reality, he adapts to it. Because when you stop resisting what is, your energy returns to what can be. Letting go isn't weakness. It's the highest form of wisdom, trusting that you'll remain whole even when things fall apart. 6. Living with purpose. Control also comes from clarity of purpose. If you don't know what you stand for, your mind will follow every distraction. But when you know your purpose, truly know it, you become unstoppable. The Stoics lived by virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Those were their anchors. Everything they did, they measured against those values. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? What kind of person do I want to be when life tests me? When your purpose is clear, your mind becomes calm. You stop chasing meaningless things. You stop reacting to every problem. Because you know what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Purpose gives focus. Focus gives control. And control gives peace. 7. The still mind. The end goal of Stoic training is not to become powerful, rich, or admired. It's to become still. Stillness is the highest form of mastery. When the world shouts, you stay silent. When others panic, you breathe. When chaos surrounds you, you remain anchored in reason. That's the Stoic way. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And mastery of self begins with a still mind, a mind that no longer fights every thought but observes them calmly. The still mind is not empty. It's aware. It's sharp. It's alive. It sees clearly what's in its control and what's not. It acts with purpose, not impulse. It speaks with meaning, not noise. That's what you've been training for, to become the calm within the storm. 8. The final lesson, control through acceptance. So here is the final truth. You can't control everything. You never could. But you can always control yourself. Your thoughts, your reactions, your values, your choices, these are yours always. That's what the Stoics meant by freedom. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he knew the only true empire is the one within, the empire of the mind. And that's what you must rule every day. When fear comes, observe it. When anger rises, breathe through it. When life disappoints you, remind yourself, this is part of nature's plan. And when you succeed, stay humble, because even victory fades. Control is not about power over others. It's about power over yourself. When you master that, nothing outside can shake you. You'll walk through chaos with calm. You'll face pain with dignity. You'll rise above noise with peace. That's the Stoic way to control your mind. Not through resistance, but through acceptance. Not by fighting the world, but by mastering yourself. And when you finally reach that point, when your mind is steady, your actions are wise, and your heart is unshaken,